Hey guys, Tony here, and I'm back once again to do another random record review. And the pick for today is an album that's really near and dear to my heart, an album that I discovered maybe about 2 years ago or so, and has since become a true favorite of mine. A phenomenal album by Caravan, and that is their second album. If I could do it all over again, I'd do it all over you. Released in 1970, and yeah, their second album. So, if you don't know Caravan, they were a band that came out of the Canterbury area in the UK, where there was a scene going on, a very progressive rock, sort of jazz-infused progressive rock scene with psychedelic elements going on. And they're one of the main bands. So, you have one band in the 60s called the Wildflowers, and from them, a number of bands sprang from there. So, you have probably the most famous one being Soft Machine. And then you have Caravan and Gong, and over the years, different members played with each other and formed different bands, and bands broke up, etc. But yeah, one of the main players was Caravan, and I gotta say, Caravan is one of my favorites. The thing about the Canterbury scene that I find, and I would think a lot of other people would find if they gave a chance. I know a lot of people don't like prog music in general. But what strikes me most about a lot of the material that came out of the Canterbury scene is that there's a humor in a lot of the music. There's this whimsy going on that, in my opinion, sort of deflates a lot of the pretension that's associated with prog. And to me, Caravan succeeds at that. But what sets them apart too from a lot of the other UK Canterbury bands is their ability to write great hooks. So their stuff is progressive. These guys are phenomenal players, very technically talented, musicians who write long songs with complicated arrangements. But there's something very poppy about a lot of their material that really it just sticks in your head. They write great hooks, and yeah, that's to me what sets them apart. They're a phenomenal band. A lot of people say In the Land of Grey and Pink is their favorite by this band, but to me, this one is their second album, and it's just phenomenal. So the players here, you have Pi Hastings on guitar. He also does most of the songwriting, main songwriting on this, and I believe does most of the singing. And his voice, I guess you could say, is sort of like Robert Wyatt's voice. Sort of has this innocence to it, which is another aspect of the Canterbury scene. Like. There's also there's this whimsy and this innocence going on in the music, and Robert Wyatt's voice is a good example of that, and so is Pi Hastings. And then he also plays guitar on here, and you have Richard Coughlin on drums, who was in the Wildflowers, phenomenal drummer. I mean, he's an incredible drummer. Richard Sinclair on bass, great funky sort of really intricate bass lines going on throughout this album. And David Sinclair on organ. If there was an instrument that dominates this album, it is organ. You have very sort of, really fuzzy, complicated, experimental sounding, organ that's just incredible throughout. But again, what you have here are mostly long songs, separated by some short ones, and the long ones are sort of split in parts, so they're suites, and just incredible stuff. What you have is really sort of catchy jazz rock, really. It's the best way to describe it. There's also a woodwind player who I believe is Pi Hastings' brother, Jimmy Hastings, I believe it's Jimmy Hastings, who plays flute on a number of tracks and also saxophone. So yeah, you have a really strong jazz rock thing going on here. And in a way, too, I think this is an album that a lot of people that don't like prog and don't like Canterbury prog, let's say, could like, because of the fact that it's so damn catchy, and it's also deceiving. It's kind of a grower. Again, In the Land of Grey and Pink is much more easier to like right away, but at first this one's very deceptive in that you put it on and it sort of like starts off quiet, and then it builds momentum into these really sort of fast-paced, almost heavy, jazzy jamming, really, and it's phenomenal. It's just really, there's a number of examples where it's just like it builds and it's just like, yeah, one of those feelings, some of the best feelings for music, just incredible. And I get that a lot from this album. My favorites are the opening track, If I Could Do It All Over Again, which leads into I Wish I Were Stoned. Just incredible. And then there's a suite at the end of the first side, With an Ear to the Ground, You Could Make It, which is about 10 minutes. The second side, Hello, Hello, sort of a shorter track. My favorite, though, is for the For Richard medley at the end. There's one other short track that's a minute long, but the second to last song on this album is incredible, and that's called the For Richard Suite. Incredible album. So yeah, to make this short, guys, this is just an incredible record. If you don't know it, check it out. Caravan, If I Could Do It All Over Again, I'd Do It All Over You, from 1970, from the Canterbury scene. Phenomenal jazz rock album, really. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and please leave me comments. Let me know what you think.